Hi everyone. Welcome to Race Math class. Today I'm bringing you the 2022's mathematical methods, the tech active exam, the written part, the first question. In this question, we would cover the basic knowledge about the functions and graphs and the calculus. Let's start it. First, the diagram below shows parts of the graph of y equal to fx, where fx equal to the x squared over 12. So let's highlight the useful information first, right? The expression of the function. And we have a graph directly, obviously it is a parabola, and we have a tangent line. State the equation of the axis of symmetry. Now, when we're talking about the axis of symmetry, it's the vertical line passing through the turning point. And where is the turning point? Look, there is no any shifting, no left, right, up, down, just the turning point on 0, 0. So the axis of symmetry is x equal to 0. You could also use a formula the negative b over 2a is the axis of symmetry, but observed graph would be more useful and easier. And then, second part, state the derivative of f with respect to x. Now, the practice of derivative. If you forgot about the method to find out corresponding derivative, the formula is at the back of the page. We have the formula sheet. All right. And this is a power function. When we're doing the power function, the dy dx, which is f dash x, would be keep the coefficient and move the index down, and then the index minus 1. 2 minus 1 is just 1. So we just maintain the x. 1 over 12 times 2 is 1 over 6x. That's it. The tangent to the f at the point M has a gradient -2. Need to find out the equation of the tangent to f at the point M. For this question, you may be curious that I don't have enough point. Normally I have 2 points, or the point and 1 point and gradient method, we need a gradient and 1 point. But now I just have gradient. Look, all the questions are related. Last part, you find out the derivative of f, which means you find out the gradient expression for this graph. And that is 1 over x. So you just need to find out for the derivative, which is a gradient, when you could have -2. So solving this equation, 1 over 6 times x equal to -2, x equal to -12. All right? When we have x equal to -12, that's not the end of the question. We need the coordinate of m. Now we just have the x value for the m. So let's substitute into the corresponding function. F, not f dash now, it's f, -12. It's equal to -12 squared out of 12. All right? And then you could find out that is the 12, because -12 times -12, that's just 144 positive. Divided by 12, that's 12. And then using the gradient and the 1 point method, y minus 12 is equal to the gradient -2, x minus -12. And after the simplification, you can work out y is equal to -2x minus 12. That's it. End of the story. The equation. Now, next part, the diagram below shows part of the graph of the y equal to fx. The tangent to the f at the point M and the line perpendicular. We're looking for the perpendicular line to the tangent graph. Now, once you see the word perpendicular, you should quickly recall what's the relationship for the two perpendicular lines. The gradient's product is equal to -1. As you know, this gradient, this tangent line is -2x minus 12. So the gradient is -2. Then your gradient m n should be -1 divided by -2, which is +1/2. All right, +1/2. And you already know, right? You already know the gradient. And then do you have one extra point? We do not know what is the n's coordinate. We do not know the straight lines, the y-intercept, but the straight lines passing through M perpendicular with the tangent line, right? So M should also sitting on the perpendicular line as well. Then you can y minus 12 equal to half x minus -12. This is how you use the previous information. After the simplification, y equal to a half x and then plus 18. This is how we do it. Once we have the perpendicular lines equation, all right, the line perpendicular to the tangent and M also cuts the F at the point N, as shown in the diagram above. Find the area enclosed by the line and the curve y equal to fx. So for this part, if we looking for the shaded area, then the shaded area should always the definite integral from the lower bound to the upper bound, and then in between the interval, your top function minus the bottom function. Do not worry about where is the shade part. It can above the x-axis, it can below the x-axis, no matter where, always using the top function minus the bottom function and then do the definite integral. Oh, never forget about your dx. Otherwise, you're gonna get deducted mark. So let's looking for what is the missing information for your puzzle. Do you know where is the lower bound? This is -12. So you know it is -12. Do you know what is the upper bound? You do not know. How you can find out the upper bound? Using the simultaneous equations, the straight lines with fx equal to the x squared over 12. And then you can have your two solutions. One of the solution is the -12, and the other solution would be 18. And that would be the x value for the n. Now we can substitute the useful information. The top function should be the perpendicular line, which is yx. And then you're gonna minus your fx. We are doing a tech active exam. So do not always throw everything on your freehand calculation. I know some of you are pretty extraordinary and had amazing calculation skills, but once you get the calculator, use it. Use your menus, calculus, definite integral, throw in every useful information, and then click the enter. And you can work out your final answer. That will be 375. You can work out by hand, it's your choice, but time's limit. That's always advice to every single student. Now we jump to the last part. Once you do the exams, use your reading time appropriately. Make sure you understand and remember every question had how many branches. Do not missing any pages. You would feel so regret once you know you can work out a question, but you just accidentally skip it, missing it. Another parabola is defined by the rule gx equal to x squared over 4a squared, where a now is a positive number. Tangent to the g and the line perpendicular to the tangent at x equal to -b, where b is positive, are shown below. For the value of b in terms of a, such that the shaded area is a minimum. So this question worth 4 marks. It's actually, you have to repeat all the previous works, with literal expressions, not specific exact numbers. All right. First, you know the x values. All right. So you can work out the, let's just give this line, let's say it is AB. You can work out the gradient of the AB would be the G dash negative B. You can work out, all right? And then you could also work out the point, let's give this one also the M and N. The coordinate of the M should be negative B and the G negative B. So you would find out the coordinate. And then what about the gradient of the MN? It is still the perpendicular line to the tangent. So it would be negative 1 out of the G dash negative B. Now you have the gradient. So you can find out the equation of the MN. Because you have the gradient, you have 1 point on the line, done. And then next step, you should find out the n's coordinate. All right, you can work out the n's coordinate because you have the equation. You also know the parabola's equation. Use the simultaneous system of the equation and solve it. Have the answer. Okay. Finally, your x value for that one should be the 8a to the power 4 plus b to the power p to the b square, and then out of b. All right. After that, you have your lower bound, you have your upper bound. Do you know the top equation? Yes. You'll find out. Do you know the bottom equation? Yes. Question already gave it to you. So you can work out a definite integral. Again, it's still the straight lines minus the gx, and never forget about your dx. All right. Once you have your area, it is actually a area related with A and B. And then we should looking for when you would have your, what we are looking for, the minimum. Okay, the minimum. In your case, click menu, calculus, and then you can find out the F min. That means looking for the expressions when you would have minimum value. So the generated answer should be X value. It would provide you when you would have such functions minimum. Okay. And finally, you could work out that once B equal to 2A squared, you can have the minimum answer. All right. You can have the minimum answer. Thanks a lot. And you can see that for this part, we have the questions not just covered year 12 knowledge. For example, for the perpendicular lines relationship, we learned since year 10. How we find out the straight lines equations. In year 10 and year 11, we learned the method. We can have 2 points, we have 1 point and the gradient. Only the calculus part are the later of the year 11 and addressed in year 12. So you can see that it is also very important to have a solid understanding during year 11. Thanks a lot for everyone. If you are interested in our program, please contact with our admin. And you can also follow us on the social media website and account. See you next time.